Alright, welcome back to Starsector. So, when we last left off, we've been going around making a point of getting everything set up so that our colonies will generate more money, are better able to protect themselves, exploring, and of course, beating up a whole bunch of people for money. At the moment, we're waiting on a colony raid that's going to be coming from the pirates. Should be about 8 days until they set out, and not too much long after till they get here. Oh, and it looks like the Persian League is here to make trouble. Persian League fleet maneuvers to prevent you from disengaging easily. The link snaps to life as you accept the comm request. Hailing suspicious fleet operating in non-chartered volume. The League Navarro stares officiously at you. This task force acts in the legitimate interests of the Persian League to regulate safe travel and freedom of commerce per interfactional law. As the apparent representative of a non-league entity and non-signatory to the Persian Sector Commercial Standards Act, you are hereby ordered to stand down your weapons, prepared to be boarded for inspection. Am I to understand that if I were part of the Persian League, this could be avoided? Her eyebrows raise. You would need to speak with a prominent representative of the League Council on Kaizeron about membership. As a member, of course, you would not be subject to random commerce safety inspections unless exceptional conditions were met. We have real rights, you know, she says, a believer it appears, unlike some factions. I'll consider it, Navarro. Yurima's expression cools. Indeed, while you consider the benefits of Confederation, I still have a job to do, she addresses someone off-image. Lieutenant, have the boarding parties prepared. With that fleet, you're in no position to make demands. The League Navarro's face freezes for a moment, then she speaks. You seem to be an upstanding, independent operator, she nods, the very image of reasonable authority. I'm gonna let you go with a warning. There are some bad folks out here, Captain. Someone has to keep them in line. She produces a strained smile. You're free to go. Oh boy, well the League is poking around now. Great. Just what we needed. Nope, appears that wasn't them. It still lists it that we have a colony crisis inbound about 6 days away, at least when last they were spotted. Well, regardless, fewer ships harassing my colonies, so that's always good. Yep, that's much more what I expected. Yeah, that's a lot of ships. I have confidence in us. My confidence may be horribly misplaced. We'll find out. Now, luckily for us, the Paragon makes quick work of most of these small ships, as does the Legion. But we're gonna have to be ready, because they're gonna throw bigger stuff at us as it moves into range. Oh boy, yep. That is roughly what I anticipated was coming. So the Paragon is going to move in and focus on taking out the bigger ships, and everything else is going to focus on defending the Paragon. Should keep everything else at bay. Hopefully. This is the point where command points start to become kind of a major factor, because they determine... Ooh. Oh, that was not good. They determine how quick we can change what our ships are focusing on, and that is a massive fucking deal when there's this much firepower in play. This is also much more like what I was imagining the first time a pirate armada came after us. Goodness. Take that Atlas Mark II. Come on. Come on. Good. There's another one down. As long as we can avoid getting overwhelmed, we can also most likely outlast the pirates, because, as I've mentioned many times before, their ships are basically garbage. They are not designed to last terribly long, and it is all too easy for them to run out of combat readiness and end up suffering unimaginably awful mishaps and accidents that end up with the ship exploding, especially if it's already damaged. The only thing is making sure nobody gets overwhelmed. Ideally, I'd even have a bigger fleet for this and have more redundancies built in, where I could bring in replacement ships if we lose something important. Have the option right now, but oh boy. Best to have it pull back. You could run face first into something. That works too, I guess. run into a death or glory sort of position, because one of two things is going to happen here. Either the loss of their final capital ship, this junker here, will open us up to take out all of these carriers and in turn win the day, or we'll get overwhelmed. And there's no clear way to know which one's going to happen until it's over. Real lucky that that comm array is still up and that they haven't challenged it at all. Paragon and the Legion have both had the absolute crap kicked out of them, but they're still going, which is better than all the enemy capital ships. Oh, crap. There's another Atlas Mark II up there. Shoot, I thought I'd gotten all those. No. This is still very much possible. Even brought in the Apogee, and I haven't been taking that one out for combat so much anymore, simply because so many of our ships are much better equipped. But we need the extra firepower right this moment. Gonna have the Omen pull back, it's just too beaten down. Damn, how do they still have more? I know how they still have more, it's an Armada, dang it. Okay, so the Pirate Armada isn't able to concentrate its force as much anymore. The amount of damage we did with the first round is just so great that they only really have a couple capital ships left, and it's the Atlas Mark II, which isn't all that capable of defending itself. Along with that, they seem to have a couple of carriers left and one Eradicator. Fury, why are you wandering off? Okay, make that 2 Eradicators. Still within our capability to take care of, just harder. Okay. We lost the Pardon. The Pardon isn't terribly good on a good day. Keep it going. More missiles, all the missiles. Come on! Okay. Legion is playing a very dangerous game, and I do not like it. Okay, Fury took out that Eradicator. Paragon is moving in to take care of the last of the Atlas Mark IIs. Second to last of the Atlas Mark IIs that I can currently see. Because I suppose there's a very real chance that it might be more. Okay, enemy fleet is considered defeated. They're probably going to move to try and retreat now, so everything else we take out is just gravy. Second Atlas Mark II. Most of the fleet is working on it. Okay, and I don't need to worry about that venture so much, so I'm gonna claim victory. Crud. They're moving in to try and stage another engagement, and I only have so much left. Oh, man. Okay, we'll make do with what we have. I have done worse. Whew. The Legion's low on hull, but we really don't have the luxury of waiting, so I guess that's happening. Well, that bodes well for the future, though I am still decidedly nervous about dealing with this. Most of these ships have been beaten to crap at least twice. So if we just don't get horribly unlucky, I genuinely believe things will be okay. Okay. Focus on the Venture here. I know I said I didn't need it destroyed in the last fight, but of the two, the Venture has better weapons mounts than the Condor. So we'll take that out, move on to the Condor. And there's that. Free up the rest of the ships to go hunting, and they should be able to take out this last Hound relatively easily. Whew. Okay, no, I didn't do a lot of talking there, but things got intense. And I rather needed to focus. Okay. Whew, look at that. Let's see, it's what? 7 to a row, 7, 14, 21, 28. 78 ships that we blew up in there. The only thing they have left is their civilian ships. I'll let the civilian ships go. Let's see. We lost 780 crew, got 200 back after the fighting was over from life pods and intact compartments in the ships that got blown up. Okay. We'll grab our ships back. I don't need any of those other ones. Grab all of that. And there's still more coming. So we're going to E-burn, get in here. Head for Navarro as fast as our engines will take us. Oh, hey, character upgrade. What do we got? Best of the best or support doctrine? Ooh. Okay. We're going to go ahead and go with support doctrine, because that's going to give every single ship that does not have an officer the basic helmsman, damage control, combat endurance, and ordnance expertise skill, along with reducing deployment cost by 20% or 10 points, whichever is less. And that stands to be very useful in the immediate future, because the rest of that armada is coming for us. Alright, repair our ships. 926 supplies. That's a lot. Okay. Drop off the massive amount of metal we got from blowing up all those ships. Drop off all these weapons. Don't have need of them right this second. Okay. Grab those supplies that we put in storage earlier. And what do I have for extra ships? Not a lot. Okay, gonna pull the Retribution. I'm gonna go ahead and get it kitted out. Alright, there's that. It's not great, but it should give us a little bit of extra firepower if and when we need it. And frankly, I could use that right about now. Do I need more people? No, I don't need more people. Good on that one. And now we head back out and hope for the best. Okay, looks like we caught 2 of them, but not all of them. So that's better than before. We won't get absolutely swarmed. And with that reduced deployment cost, we should be able to bring in a little bit more. Okay, that's good. The early losses that we inflict will make a massive difference down the line. See about eliminating that first Atlas Mark II. Okay, I admit this seems to be going better than last time. We are definitely cutting through them like tissue paper. But the trick is going to be seeing if that continues, or if it gets significantly harder. Another Atlas Mark II taken care of. This one. Okay, we aren't going to immediately go ahead and target another one. We're going to let the Paragon do its thing for the moment. Mainly waiting to see how the debris field clears up, because, well, but depending on what goes where, might be better to focus on one thing or another. It is in fact entirely possible to get a field so choked with debris that the guns entirely stop firing for a few minutes. Yeah, okay, that's clearing in such a way that the next Atlas Mark II is definitely up on the chopping block. Flux on the Legion is uncomfortably high. Not untenable, but uncomfortably high. Possible would like to get it to pull back, but I kind of need it on that flank blocking everything else. Okay, you're switching targets. Don't want to lose the Paragon early. Taking out more and more mules, which, I mean, they're mules, but still, it's something. Giving that Eradicator reason to pause. There's the ammo feeder system at work. That massive burst of firepower. Yeah. That's the thing that makes the Atlas Mark II actually somewhat dangerous when it has proper support, which is a rarity because the pirates don't really do fleet combat with any intelligence. They just throw as much as they possibly can at you. Small ships over here are keeping things under control. It's another Atlas Mark II off the list. But that's not too bad, all things considered. Okay, the comm relays are nice, but we really don't need them compared to keeping our fleet concentrated where the firepower can do its job. Colossus Mark III down. Focus on the biggest threat. Especially since all the support ships are gone now and they don't have the means to screen us or surround us and beat until the shields go down. There's that. Yeah, by this point it's mostly carriers and escort ships left like the Falcon. Looks like there is an Atlas Mark II up there, but yeah. I'm gonna let everyone off the leash now. Let them pick and choose their own targets for the time being. And I'll keep an eye on it, and if I need to intervene, I can always intervene. And they're losing Colossus Mark III's left and right. Not that it's terribly surprising given, well, like I mentioned when I discussed the Colossus Mark III at length, horribly compromised the armor to try and turn it into a carrier. Did manage to accidentally make a great raiding ship though. Dang, even our ships are starting to suffer combat readiness problems. That wolf can go ahead and get out of here. We don't need them right now. The Aurora, that's the experimental model. We don't need that in here at the moment. Yeah, I'd rather save the combat readiness than deal with that. They want to go another round. I'm down. Bring in the Fury, bring in the Eradicator, Champion, Pardon. Okay, let's bring in the Retribution as well. Okay, the way I'm looking at this is more of a cleanup operation than anything else. And we'll add some of the smaller ships in there as well. The Eradicator being fast and high on firepower should be able to put down a couple of Colossus Mark IIIs on its own. As for everything else, you gotta wonder what makes these guys so damn committed to fighting me even when their ships have been beaten to crap and are definitely going to lose. Although, I suppose Kanta probably told them come back victorious or not at all. Between the two, getting blown up in space or finding out what Warlord Kanta does to people who fail her, getting blown up in space is definitely the better option. Look at that go. As said before, more a cleanup operation than anything else. Take out the last few ships in the fleet, get back to safety, and repair our ships. There's that. I don't need to take out the civilian ships. Get both of ours back. Another massive pile of weapons. Turn tail back to Navarro. Repair our ships. Oh, the supply cost is going to be insane. And we got another level up. Officer management is what I'm going to go for. More command points, more officers. All good. Alright. Now, checking the listing. Looks like the pirate raid is still going on. We haven't beaten enough of them to drive them back yet. Let's see. 11 fleets, we've beaten, let's call that 4. Yep, there's one there. Move in, we'll take these guys out to start with. I don't think they'll give us all that much trouble, but good next step to dealing with this little issue. Unfortunately, my ships are getting demods because of all the damage done, but we'll see what we can do about that as time goes on. There's a Shrike down. We'll need more ships to go, though. Luckily, this fleet was smaller, potentially made up of ships that escaped from a previous attack, but we'll see. Yeah, I don't see these guys making much of a dent in us. Looks like between the Paragon and the Fury taking these guys out, the Colossus Mark IIIs really don't stand a chance. Give my ships free rein to engage how they please, and let them loose. They've definitely got this. And while this was a smaller fleet, every ship we take out now, at least the combat-capable ones, is another ship we don't have to worry about later, which is good for us. Even if they retreat and they're just hanging around the system, if they jump in on a much bigger fight, it could easily make significant problems, so get rid of everyone that we can. And that is that for that fleet. Boy, we're gonna have a lot of prisoners to turn over when this is finished. Yeah, boy. Okay, Pirate Armada and 2 Raiders together. So, not a lot in the way of capital ships. Looks like... yeah, just 2 of the Atlas Mark IIs. It's gonna be a lot of ships to blow out of the sky, though. We can handle this. We've done it before. but it might not be the prettiest thing in the world. Gonna make sure that we keep our strength concentrated at the start, ensure that they can't overwhelm us. Or at least not easily. Assuming that capturing these 2 relays goes well, we'll be able to bring in more of our ships. Yep, going fast enough they didn't even get a chance. Okay, what else do we want to bring in? The Dazzler, the Skimmer, and the Ashland. And one of the Wolves, why not? The extra hands will definitely be helpful. Now, with any luck, they'll come into view sooner than later. Wolf's breaking off to deal with that. Looks like we have 1 Vanguard moving in to try and take the comm relay, and ideally we do want to keep that one. The sensor jammer, I'm not as concerned about, but if we can manage it, I'm not going to complain. Ooh, looks like there's a lot of ships going on that, so we're going to let that one go for the moment. We've brought our ships in, we don't need to worry about that for now. Strike down. And Paragon needs to start moving back in the opposite direction. Which is going to mean turning around, which is going to take time. Luckily the rest of the fleet is here, so aren't likely to get blindsided by much. Ooh, good, going around the non-omnidirectional shields. Those Bashers, I believe, are Junker model ships from Hazard Mining Incorporated. Hazard Mining does maintain relations with the pirates, if I know their lore correctly, which, up for debate. How are we looking down here? Another Basher gone. Eradicator getting surrounded, and looks like a significant chunk of its armor is gone, so that is good for us. There's the Paragon. I'm going to be keeping a close eye on the Paragon because it's one of the things that the AI should be targeting and attempting to eliminate if at all possible, simply because it's the biggest thing on the field. Have everyone focus in on the Paragon, because that's what we need to keep on our side the most. Paragon gonna focus in on the Alice Mark II. While we're at it, gonna issue a direct order to all of these guys to move in on that Colossus Mark III. Now, I'm mainly doing that so that they'll try and start moving through this debris field and bypass it instead of sitting there doing nothing. Well, something is pounding on the hull of the Paragon and trying to get its shields down. And we lost the armor. That's not too huge of a loss, if we're being honest. The Omen's useful, but its usefulness is limited. Goes a Mudskipper Mark II. Yeah, Mudskipper is a civilian transport. At some point someone realized the power grid was good enough you could strap a giant, large ballistic weapon to the top of the hull. And, that's about all it's got. Good, good, good. The fighters are doing well. Our smaller ships are keeping the small ships from the enemy side from flanking us or doing damage from behind. The Paragon, the Flux is under relative control. This is about as good as I could hope for something like this to be going. What about over here where the other Atlas Mark II is? Not as great, but passable. I don't want that thing circling around us, but I don't think I can do much of anything about it right this moment. It's a fair ways away from the Paragon, and our ships down there are occupied. So we'll just have to deal with it as it comes up. Mule down. It looks like the Fury and the Medusa are working together to try and take a chunk out of that Atlas Mark II. That should keep it off of our backs for a bit, at the very least. And depending how well it manages its shields, they might actually take it out. Another kite gone. Always with the dudes flying around in kites. Paragon pull backwards a little bit so that it has time to vent its flux in the near future, hopefully. Get that venture. Crud, this is turning into the exact sort of disaster I wanted to avoid. Okay. You guys move in on that Colossus Mark III. We need it gone, we need it gone now. You move in on the Atlas Mark II. Paragon's dealing with stuff coming from too many dimensions for its own good. Take retreat, if at all possible. You three, get that venture. Cancel the orders for the wolf. Atlas Mark II taken quite a few hits. Yep, there it goes. Okay. Push them back pretty fully. You stop firing if there's nothing in range. Okay, that shade is no longer able to fight effectively. We're gonna have him pull back. Come on, just need the Fury to get out of the way for 1 second. Missed your opportunity by that much. I'm going to assume they were waiting on the reload there. Fury's holding together, but not terribly well. Okay, that's another one of those down. Shade is spinning in circles again. One of its engines went out as it was trying to pull back. Damn it! It's the last thing that I needed. Huh, the Shade actually managed to retreat, because it bumped into the Paragon's hull, which changed its direction. Unconventional, but if it works, it works. Okay, I think we do need to let everyone off the hook a little bit here. Let them pick and choose their targets. Let's haul a new one for the venture. It's withstanding those tachyon lances surprisingly well, but it can't do that forever. The Aurora is basically out of combat effectiveness, so we'll have it start pulling back after taking out that wolf. Another Shepherd drone tender gone. Colossus Mark III gone. Is the battle considered victorious? Yes. Yes, it is. Okay, what did we lose? We lost the Falcon, we lost the Omen, and we lost the Medusa. Still got the majority of our fleet. These guys want to go another round, so we'll go in and we'll take care of them. Have everyone focus on getting this nav buoy except the wolf that'll go for this comm relay. A duel between wolves. Of course, they have more D-mods and worse combat readiness, so I have a feeling they're not going to last. But we will see what happens. That's a Falcon done. Yeah, it looks like a non-trivial number of these guys just aren't in condition to fight. As I said earlier, I would be willing to bet good money that Warlord Kanta told them to come back victorious or not at all, given she's angry at me, and no one is really willing to find out what Kanta will do if they fail. Would make sense, Kanta is feared, and for good damn reason. She didn't become a warlord by being soft. Or stupid. That wolf that was trying to take the comm relay got. I don't think that was even our wolf. I think they may have just suffered a malfunction due to combat readiness being next to non-existent. Is there a reason you're going for that one instead of this one? Oh, fair enough. It's still busted, so I'm gonna call that good. Apogee's doing work. As is the champion. Condors continue to be a non-issue. Up and no engines for you. There we are. I can let those two drone tenders go. I don't need to. Okay, looks like all they got left is for the small combat ships. We'll get ours back. Pirate raid defeated. The pirate raiding forces have been forced to scatter. The remaining raiding forces are retreating in disarray. And as a direct result, we got a respite from piracy. So it's gonna be a bit before the pirates mess with us anywhere near as strongly as they just did. And with all that bounty money, we did come out not as far in the hole as I would have feared. Let's see, a lot of prisoners taken. Well, we'll see about repatriating them or trading them for bounties as we need. Dump off all these weapons. Whew. Okay, so hopefully having seen all of that, it now makes more sense why I was so concerned about the pirate raid before. This is what I was expecting. Yeah. Not very nice. Okay. Now, what are we gonna do? Well, first things first, we're gonna see about offloading a whole ton of those metals, and it looks like Volturn is in need of them. While we're at it, though, how much would it cost to upgrade this to a battle station? Okay. 500,000, doable. Put down another patrol HQ. Patrol HQs on their own don't take up an industry slot. They're treated as being just another structure like the way station. C and Norek. How are you doing? 5% a month, just shy of halfway to the next level. Nothing we really need to do. Okay.